Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Black Eel Podcast, where your hosts Scott and Mike are going to be talking about the first 13 episodes of Earth's Mightiest Avengers, Earth's Mightiest Heroes, and then we're going to be moving on to my character spotlight, and then we'll be talking about what we're doing next week. So let's get right into this. I will say this: first off, I enjoy it. Do not get me wrong. However, what I will say is, I was expecting the Avengers to actually assemble a lot sooner than they did.
Yeah, I'll be honest. Like, I was expecting it first episode, maybe second episode.
That's exactly what I was thinking.
It was like they weren't a full team until episode 6 or 7.
Technically, they're not really a full team until episode 13, technically. Because they technically officially added Hawkeye into it.
Yep, and Hulk. And
Hulk came back. Yeah, Hulk was already a part of it.
He was a part of it, but he quit, and then now he's back on the team. Didn't you say that Black Widow was going to be a part of it too?
Well, she is. I just didn't realize she was the villain.
Okay, so that's how. Okay, because I was like, okay, I'm expecting her to be a part of it. Come together, do some redemption.
I mean, to be fair, she still could be because she's always been a double agent in the comics. So, I mean, she could turn heel. I mean, not heel. Turn baby.
Getting some wrestling lingo in here. Nice.
Yes, you're welcome. But they do the comic book accurate first, where she's a terrorist / double agent.
Okay.
So that's kind of where they're going with that. What else was I going to say? Oh, no, everything was really great. And also, can we talk about how friggin' Clancy, what the hell is his last name? Clancy Jones? No, Clancy, what's his last name? Mr. Krabs.
Yeah.
He's Odin.
Talking about. Yeah, oh yeah, that's right. I did. I meant to text you when I heard that and I forgot. Yeah, that's right. The guy's in everything.
I literally am sitting here going, there's not a single thing I watch without him in it. And I don't even realize it. But
I know. It makes it even better, the fact that this time we recognized it.
No, this time we at least recognized it. But I think it's because we're watching it now. If I would have watched it, obviously, when it came out, I would have had no clue.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Wouldn't have been like, oh, that's Mr. Krabs. Oh, that's what's his name? Oh, Especially because we hear him in everything, that it's like, oh my God, he's back again.
So I also like this too, because they're giving weight to villains that normally didn't get as big of a stint in other stuff. So, the main focus is Baron Zemo, the Enchantress, the Executioner a little bit, but he's more of Enchantress's
minion.
Thank you. We also get to see Crimson Domino, who surprisingly does not get a lot of screen time in a lot of things.
I do like that they're showing. I mean, they're showcasing a lot of villains. Like I talked to you yesterday about it a little bit, where it's like there's so many villains that I don't know who they are. I was hoping for a little bit more spotlight.
So just to kind of give you a heads up, so Whiplash from Iron Man 2.
Yeah.
He's supposed to be Crimson Domino, meaning like his character becomes Crimson Domino.
Oh, okay.
But in the comics, Whiplash is somebody else.
Oh,
so that's why there was a Whiplash, and then there was Crimson Domino that we saw in the breakout scenes, where Iron Man has to face his old rivals. It was Crimson Domino, it was Whiplash, and there was one other. Anyway, it doesn't matter right this second. But the idea is, I wanted to mention that because Whiplash in the comics is a completely different character.
Well, I mean, yeah, obviously we saw that in this show. It was, first to start it off, it was, versus the movie, it was a girl, which obviously isn't a big deal, but.
Well, also remember, too, the actor, so the character that became Whiplash in Iron Man 2 is actually the name of the character who becomes Crimson Domino in the comics.
Yeah, no, I understand. Like, what I'm saying is, like, it's already off to a different character because they changed the gender.
Yeah. Actually, Whiplash has been multiple people. So I don't think the gender actually truly mattered. Okay. But I get your point.
Also, didn't know that it people.
I also love that they brought out the gray gargoyle. which I thought was really cool. He was the guy who turns people to stone by touching them. He is, weirdly enough, I believe he's considered more of a Iron Man villain technically because he works with the Mandarin a lot, the real Mandarin.
Have to specify.
I do now. But yeah, no, they did such a. We got so many good stories. Like we had.
At that point when this came out, I don't think there was only the real Mandarin.
Yes. Because when this came out, I believe only Iron Man 2 came out.
This was in 2000. Okay, so
I believe it was just Iron Man, Incredible Hulk, Iron Man 2, maybe Thor. Because I think Captain America was 2011.
Because Avengers was 2012, correct?
Yes, and Captain America was the last one, and I believe he was 2011.
Yeah, but if this came out in 2010, that means Captain America hadn't even come out yet.
No, but they were already working on it at that point.
Oh well, yeah, but I mean,
I'm only saying it that way.
For fans that are watching it, that like they don't have another reference point.
Correct. So yeah, so all we got, so at that point it was only for villain wise anyway. It was Iron Mongol, it was Whiplash, it was, well, technically the U.S. government, but also Abomination.
Yep.
And potentially Loki, because I think Thor was 2010. Oh, and the Frost Giants. The Frost Giants were really cool too. I also like how they gave Loki so much power in this because he deserves it. He is the villain of all villains, in my opinion.
No, Thor. The first Thor released in 2011.
When was Captain America?
Captain America: The First Avenger was also 2011.
Oh, I thought they were a year apart. Never mind. Okay.
So Thor was May. Captain America was July.
Oh, they were really close together.
Yeah, they were. Didn't expect that, or didn't remember that, I should say.
I don't think to be honest with you, maybe I did see him in theaters. I don't remember now.
Avengers was 2012. Yep. Iron Man.
Who did I go see it with?
Iron Man 3 was 2013. Iron Man 2 was 2012.
Oh.
Oh, sorry. Iron Man 2 was 2010. My apologies.
Yeah. Get your shit together.
It released in May. So when did the show come out? I know it came out. I know you said it came out in Earth's Mightiest Heroes. Because depending on when it came out, like it could, again, going off of fans, what they know and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
Because
Loki, if Thor did not come out before this, many people didn't know who Loki was. Like only the big Thor fans knew, which is weird to say because Loki is such a pivotal character.
No, that's really weird to think about.
No, I know, but it's true because now everyone knows Loki. There's no way around it. But mean, like back then, it was
all right. So episode one was released in September of 2010. So it was towards the end of the year.
Okay. But yeah, so I actually really enjoyed this. I love seeing like the backstory of all the characters. I also like how it's Iron Man that created the Avengers technically, which I find that to be kind of funny. I also love how they aged Nick Fury very quickly.
Yeah, they did.
Because I was like, he's kind of young. I feel like there's never been a young Nick Fury. And then that happened, I went, I see.
They found a way around it.
They found a way around it pretty damn quick, let me tell you. I don't think there was a single villain. Like, we saw the Serpent Society. We saw so many villains. It was great.
My only critique with this, and this is a classic, all like animation shows. The only one that I've seen so far that really hasn't done that was X-Men 97, where if it wasn't your character's focus in the episode, everyone else was kind of weak.
Yep.
So like that's really my only criticism, where it's like, it's
what I will
across
say,
all these kind of shows.
What I will say though is what they've done better with this was the Hulk not being around.
And the only time that we saw him, it was with someone on equal level to him, so he could get his butt kicked.
Correct. So it's like, it's one of those things where it's like, so like I do have to say, for at least that piece, overall I agree with you. Because Thor was getting smacked around a lot more than I was expecting.
Thor was the big one. Thor and Iron Man were the ones getting their butt kicked so much, and I'm like, seriously?
I think for me, like, that was my big thing too, where it's like, but then you see Thor in like literally the next episode rain thundering vengeance upon them and just slam down the hammer, quite literally. Yeah. They also made it so, I do have to say, they kind of keep changing Thor a little bit in this. And not in a bad way. It's like the flying, because like weirdly enough, technically he can't fly.
He technically needs Mjolnir to pull him or whatever, right?
Yeah. So him floating is a little weird at times. However, that's a minor thing.
But it's like technically, if he has the ability to fully harness his powers, he could use his powers.
We also see him when he focuses. He can control Mjolnir with ease, meaning like especially with the absorbing man.
Yeah. That was cool. I have to say, that was pretty cool.
Well, I also remember. Well, the best part is I remember that episode, and the reason why I do is because I've seen clips of that episode of just the fight between him and Absorbing Man.
Oh, okay.
So I had no context of the rest of it, meaning like I would never have guessed that was the episode, obviously. Mm-hmm. But anyway, so I see him absorb the hammer, and I'm like, can't Thor control him? And then literally in the clip, he stops him and he goes, "I needed more concentration because that's a lot of Mjolnir." And I'm just like, I see now.
Now I understand.
Now it makes sense. No, it definitely was cool. I also like that we saw Vapor, which is one of the most obscure villains, where she can literally turn into any gas.
Was that one of the ones that we saw in?
That was in the Cube. She was the one that kissed Captain America.
Okay, I didn't know if that was her or like they put Enchantress in there and they were trying to be like discreet about it. So okay.
No, her name is Vapor and she's an actual villain. She can turn into any type of gas. Her big thing is like turning into explosive gas, poisonous gas, and like killing her victims. And she basically could turn her body, and because gas is ever expanding, she can like blow herself up and put herself back together without a problem.
Yeah, if you're a gas, then that does not matter.
Yeah, the electric. I don't know if you remember the electric guy. The electric guy was in a movie. I don't know if you saw the old Hulk. The Hulk movie, the big green one, the like neon green one.
Wait, the one from the early 2000s, or the old one?
Oh no! So not the show, the movie, the big green guy, the one that kept growing.
Okay, yeah, yes. The one that talked about his father was the Absorbing Man, right?
Well, so
it had the Hulk dogs.
It had the Hulk dogs, but weirdly enough, although he called himself the Absorbing Man, he really wasn't the Absorbing Man. He just turned into the electricity monster that was in the Avengers show. If you remember the electric guy? Yeah. So that's what he turned into.
I thought it was.
Let's just say this:
didn't he absorb other things besides electricity, or was it only electricity?
No, it was gamma radiation and electricity.
Oh, okay.
Because they back then they didn't read the comics really.
Oh well, we know that.
No, I know we know that now, but I'm just saying
that was even in back then, like that movie was a bad movie.
Yeah, he just kept growing. But anyway,
and the CGI obviously was terrible.
No, the CGI was incredible. You've never seen a Hulk that green.
Even for 2000 standards, it was terrible.
You could close your eyes and still see the Hulk. It was one of those movies. No, I loved everything about this. It was a great story. I also like that they're building a evil Avengers team, which I also like.
Yep, it was Masters of Evil, right?
I will say this. That is considered one of them, and I would say yes. However, there are so many different names to organizations that, to be honest with you, it could be any of them because they all are kind of interchangeable.
So I'm going to be honest. So I paused because I didn't remember exactly what it was, and I was trying to think. What happened was when I finished this episode, I just clicked the get ready to play next episode, so it'll be loaded, and the title of the episode is Masters of Evil.
Oh, so I hadn't seen that. So then, yes.
It took me a minute to remember, and I was hoping that you did the same thing and could confirm it.
Oh, that doesn't ruin anything. Like I said, I would have thought that, but at the same time, they've had so many different names that like they literally could have called themselves the Evil Avengers, anything, and it would have still worked. So like for me, the name
when I was watching it, I was like, oh, it's probably the Evil Avengers, and I clicked next episode and it said Master of Evil. I'm like, or that.
No. Well, the reason why I say that is because I don't know what their plan was for the show. Yeah. But that's fine by me because it doesn't.
And and obviously they already have so many characters, so they could do whatever they want.
Well, that's kind of my point, where it's like I didn't want to say yes only because I don't know who else is going to be on the team. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But this is so. There's normally been 2 different leaders in the Masters of Evil. Sometimes a third, but the third one, I don't consider him a leader. He kind of took over at one point. So it was, and I'll let you guess which one took over instead of just leader. So the 3 names are Loki, Doctor Doom, and Ultron. And I'll let you think.
So you're saying one of them just took over but wasn't a leader?
Well, I don't consider him a leader because he like took over and like forced everyone to kind of be a part of it at one point. Where the 2 others kind of actually led them, where they actually felt like a unit.
Okay, well, my instinct would be, because it's so.
So here's the thing. I will say this: all 3 of them could do it. Which is funny.
all of them kind of fits that description.
Oh no, I'm not saying it doesn't fit them. I'm just saying that normally, weirdly enough, at least I will say this: at least 2 of them would be smart enough to be able to make everyone think that he's not just you. They're not just you. Well, they're all he's. He's not using them. I like paused for a minute.
So, like, my first thing was Dr. Doom, but at the same time, he does want to lead people.
I'm gonna need a final answer soon.
I know. I'm talking out loud.
All right. So Dr. Doom could be, but then again, he likes to lead. Next.
Yeah, I mean, there's Loki, but he wants the idea of people leading. He does like as much as he wants to enslave people, like we saw in the first Avengers movie. He wants the feeling of being a leader.
He wants to feel important.
Yeah. And then there's Ultron, who, depending on this route that they go, he could either just be just wants to enslave everybody and everyone has to follow him, or he wants to.
I will say this: normal indications of Ultron is that he wants to destroy humanity and create a robotic society.
Yeah. But then at the same time,
and there's also sometimes, just so you know, to have this little thought in your head, is sometimes he likes to put robot parts in human bodies.
Nice.
Yeah. Sometimes.
All right. Well, I'm gonna go with Ultron.
That is the correct answer.
Okay.
Because the other 2, although they would do it, they are more of like the 2 of them find it as more of an art form to trick others into doing their bidding.
Mm-hmm.
Where Ultron is not kind of into that. He doesn't care about that.
Yeah. I mean, the only reason I was hesitant on Ultron is because, like, in my head, I'm like, he wouldn't really want to lead. He just wants to take over and then destroy them. Not like he doesn't really care about using humans as his, like, obviously he did in the movies, but.
Well, I think that still kind of stands because he can't, in his mind, which is one of the best minds, weirdly enough, that he wants to make sure that he can defeat the Avengers. and he knows he can't do that completely on his own.
Oh, okay. So he'll use them until he no longer needs them. Okay.
Correct. But no, I definitely have to say, like, so far it's really cool. I like it. The Enchantress is another character that also I like too, that they're showing her as a servant to Loki, which I think is very interesting.
Yeah.
What else? Oh, also the Jane Foster switch for me was because I'm so used to her as the scientist.
Yeah.
And apparently she's not really a scientist.
That was just an MCU thing?
I'm gonna double check that, but I think I had to look it up because I was like, I thought she was a scientist.
Obviously me being more MCU than comics for Marvel, I'm like, wow, that's a very big difference.
So in the comics, her occupation is a nurse. So this is actually closer, even though it's not exactly.
It's still a change, but yeah, it works.
No, it's still a change, but it's not as drastically as a change from the MCU.
From a nurse to a
Interesting. I find that very interesting, though. But anyway, so
makes it even more funny that that Thor falls for her.
Well, I think it's just because of her brain and not I think it's the tenacity of not going up against somebody.
Yeah, the bravery.
Yeah, that's really what it comes down to. But no, I still like it. But
I loved in that scene when he's talking about how he, Jane was like, "Are you following me?" And he's like, "Yeah." And then there's someone in the background in the car trying to get out, and they're just like trapped in their car and they're just both ignoring her, and then the airbag goes off.
I think my favorite thing about that scene was like he looked like he was about to say something else, and then he was like, "Perhaps."
Yeah, just admitted stalking. That would not fly today.
I'm going to say because he's a god, I think it still kind of works weirdly enough, but I get your point.
I mean, so my thing is, yes,
it's less likely. I'll say this: it's less likely to fly today. Yes, but I think
that's what I mean. With the current climate of everything going on, it's something that they would want to avoid doing. But if they were to do it, because it's Thor and he's a god and he doesn't know the Earth customs, I would say yes, maybe be able.
That's kind of more.
There would be some backlash with it.
The last time he had been on Earth, technically, was during the Norse times. Is always the thought process.
That's also fair. Yeah.
But yeah, I love this. I also love some of the other characters we got to see was M'Baku as his main persona, which is Man-Ape, which I think is incredible. I also, obviously they changed it. They didn't completely change it because the tribe is banished and all that stuff. But like obviously he's the main villain of Wakanda.
Yeah.
I also love Klaus the Claw.
Yeah.
Love this. Ulysses Claw is who I like seeing. He's a great character. We get to see the Grim Reaper, Simon Williams' brother.
We saw Simon Williams too.
Yes, and Wonder Man is a little different, isn't he?
Yeah, he is. I'm like, obviously I'm watching this. I'm like, okay, he must become like he must learn how to control his powers and become like Wonder Man. So like that's kind of like how my brain is going, unless it's just like they changed it completely for the MCU kind of thing.
Well, he is Wonder Man right now.
Well, no, so like becomes more of like a non. He's not an entity, a force. Right now, he's kind of just a force that doesn't have control of his powers. And once he becomes it, like he can.
Yeah, you're absolutely correct. Because
obviously, the big thing, like you had mentioned before, where this is, white billionaire that has control of his company versus in the MCU, struggling actor. I thought that was, I saw that. I was like, oh, I was just talking about this.
I know. Well, the best part is I was trying to figure out who the guy was in the beginning, right? And I'm like, why does he look so different from all the other Hydra agents? And like, it turned out to be the Grim Reaper, but I didn't, because we don't see him as the Grim Reaper yet. So all of a sudden, like we see him kind of like in the background and get captured. And then all of a sudden they go, he has a cybernetic part. And he's like, boys, I'll show it to you. And then whips it out and starts slicing through everything.
I figure I think at one point, I don't remember what episode it was, but they did call him the Grim Reaper, and that's when I was like,
no.
oh,
So
is this?
No, I'm talking about before he revealed his scythe.
No, I understand that, but what I'm saying is like I didn't realize who it was until they said his name.
Yeah.
I don't remember if that was in episode one when they when
It was
Hydra
one or
was
two. It was one or two. I forget, but you're right because it was when he got a bunch of people out of prison.
It was either when he was escaping the jail. I forget what the jail was that he was in. It was either when he was escaping there or when he met up with his Hydra.
I don't remember now, but I understand your point. We also got to see MODOK, which weirdly enough I do like.
Yeah, it was hilarious.
he's a joke. He's a joke even in the comics, to be honest with you. Although he is a major villain in general, he's still kind of the butt of everyone's joke.
I mean, I can see why.
I mean, it's very obvious. What else? I thought it was like Bucky Barnes.
That was interesting. So
that's actually very comic book accurate. So
is it?
Bucky Barnes is the Patriot. What is his name? What is this, like Liberty Boy? No. Do they just call him Bucky? I don't think so.
I think they only called him Bucky in the show.
I know, but I feel like but I feel like in the comics he might have been called something else. But anyway, so yeah, I like seeing that. I also like the fact of what was I gonna say? Shoot, I'm looking them up at the same time.
Doesn't seem like he had. It only calls him the Winter Soldier.
It's just Bucky Barnes and the Winter Soldier.
Yeah.
Buchanan. James Buchanan Barnes Jr. is his full name.
Yeah, there's nothing about.
No, I guess not. I for some reason thought he had like a comic book character name of like when he was working with Captain America as his ward, but I guess not. So anyway, he's basically supposedly the Robin of his Captain America, obviously, which I think is kind of cool too. Also, did you notice who the voice actor was?
No.
That was Robin from Teen Titans.
Oh no! Yes. I forgot where I heard whose voice that was on. That I heard that. Yeah, I knew I heard him, but I didn't remember who it was.
Yeah, that was actually really cool. I did enjoy that. Yeah, I don't think there was a single thing. I also like the fact that Hawkeye was a villain. He wasn't actually a villain, but I mean, he was portrayed as a villain.
That's what I was about to say before you mentioned Bucky Barnes. I thought he was on the run. He was held captive from S.H.I.E.L.D. and then he was on the run from S.H.I.E.L.D. and the Avengers.
Yeah.
That was very interesting.
I also like that they're making S.H.I.E.L.D. the villains as well, because they are. They're a government agency and they're corrupt, shockingly.
I like when who was it that was it? Oh, when Captain America woke up and Nick Fury comes and talks to him and he's like, oh, you're not as bad as Tony Stark made you out to be. You're not, you're very upfront with me. You don't really hide anything. He's like, and Nick Fury's just like, no, I mean, I'll hide things from you if I need to. He's just like literally right in your face. Like, I'm going to double cross you at one point.
Yeah, no, I definitely like how S.H.I.E.L.D. is like the main, like they're not villains per se, but they're definitely not 100% the good guys. And I also like how it's like slightly separate from the army as well, because you have Thunderbolt Ross going against S.H.I.E.L.D. as well, which is also really interesting to see as well, because that is all comic book accurate. Like nothing, I will say this, nothing I saw was not comic book accurate. No, I don't even have an issue with anything. No, there's not a single thing I have an issue with. I'm just trying to double check, like thinking about all of the people I've seen so far.
Like I said to you yesterday, was like the one thing that irked me, obviously, when you said this is also comic accurate, is Hank Pym.
No, he's a pain.
Just
He's
being so focused on science, not worrying about like
and
actually
he always has.
Like not what he doesn't want to be a hero. He just wants to focus on the science and only is the hero if he absolutely has to be. And trying to be a pacifist to try to rehabilitate the villains that clearly is not working. And he's just like, no, we have to keep trying. It's working. He was so annoying.
I also like too that he built the prison and he was like, how come nobody's been released from this prison?
Yeah. I did like Wasp. I liked her character.
Yep.
I liked how, goofy she was. I really liked that.
Yeah, no, I get that. I think personality-wise, she's a little different in the comics. But it works for the show, obviously. I think of her, weirdly enough, as kind of like the Spider-Man of the Avengers, in the sense of like still kind of a jokester and everything else, but like does what she needs to do type of thing.
Oh yeah, obviously.
What else was I gonna say? I think the big thing for me was I don't think I registered that Black Panther was actually going to fully join the Avengers in this.
Yeah, you mentioned that he only worked. I
thought he was only going to be I thought he was only going to be the prince or / king of Wakanda, and then everything changed in that episode, and I went, oh, I guess he's going to be an Avenger fully, and that's interesting because he's not really a team player, and I'm not wrong based on everything I've seen.
Every time we've seen him, he's going solo.
I'm 100% correct. I just didn't realize he's still considered part of the team. Yeah, I'm also very curious to see what other heroes we will see, because right now the only one we've seen Wolverine technically, granted in the past, but we saw him.
Yep.
We also got to see, we heard about Reed Richards.
Yep.
I love the interaction between Bruce Banner and the Hulk.
I did, and I liked Enchantress, hypnotizing him into Bruce Banner being like the devil on his shoulder. I did really like that. I mean, obviously, kind of, for more modern fans, where MCU, where it's like Scarlet Witch doing the same thing with like manipulating the Hulk.
No, I agree.
I did really like that.
No, that was very good too. I definitely enjoyed it. That was very good in that sense. What did you think about Graviton?
He was very powerful. That was pretty intense.
So this is going to sound very weird because you see what his powers are, okay? But he was like supposed to be the Superman-esque of the MCU.
In terms of like being an unstoppable force.
Yeah, I mean, I'll tell you this. They've tried many a times to like make their own Superman. They've had Blue Marvel, they've had Sentry, they've had Graviton, there's somebody else too. But anyway, my point I'm making is, so he's one of them.
Yeah.
And I mean, obviously he's very powerful. Yeah, that should not be a shock whatsoever.
I like that Hulk just brute forced through the gravity.
Well, he kept getting angrier, which made him stronger, which made the gravity less effective on him.
Yeah.
And that's the big point of it. So, like, that was the whole thing. And Graviton getting pissed about it because he's like, no creature should be able to handle this. And then Hulk getting bombarded by all of the, what are they called? You know what I'm talking about. The crates. But they're like the massive...
Oh, yeah, where he just kept throwing him at him.
I'm like, oh. You know what he gives me? He gives me Magneto vibes. Obviously, that's not what his powers are, obviously, because he's gravity technically and not magnetism.
Mm-hmm.
But I just the parallels were incredible.
Yeah.
But yeah, he did such, like, he was a destructive force. I also love how, like, pretty much every villain is a super scientist who got exploded on and then got powers from it. Typical comic book.
Yeah.
Now, my question for you is, when we first see Thor on Midgard, do you know the villains that he was facing?
I have to remember because I saw it towards the beginning of the week, so I don't really remember that episode too well, to be honest.
We also see him fight them in the end in the gamma world too. They get more powerful with the gamma radiation, but
well, I mean, absorbing
there's
man.
4 of them. Nope.
Well, I'm thinking at the end he fought absorbing man.
No. So the reason, so the reason why I'm saying that is because he didn't face absorbing man in the beginning. He only fought him at the end. But there was,
I don't remember.
So it was called the Wrecking Crew. So the Wrecking Crew were the 4 guys who were causing destruction at the pier that Thor came in to beat him with, and they were kind of kicking his butt.
Oh,
and
yeah.
The reason why he was able to get his butt kicked by them is because, for you to know in the comics, these guys have the power of Asgard.
Oh, okay.
So in the comic, they were able to bring their weapons together and get electrocuted by the electricity coming from Mjolnir, I believe, and granted them the powers of Asgardians, which then gave them super strength, super Asgardian physiology, and their weapons became enhanced because of it. So one has a crowbar. The reason why he uses the crowbar is because that's what he used when he got powerful. There's Cannonball, or no, what is his name? Cannonball? It's the one with the big ball and chain. Then there was Bulldoze, and then there was who's the last guy?
I'm gonna see.
You just look up the Wrecking Crew.
That's what I'm doing. Yeah.
Because
no, I am gonna miss it because the movie The Wrecking Crew came out. The one with Jason
Wrecking Crew,
Momoa and
Marvel.
Yeah. I thought that. Yeah.
Because it should be
all right.
Crowbar.
It is the Wrecker, Bulldozer, Pile Driver, and Thunderball.
Thunderball. Okay, there we go. And they all have enhanced weapons from thanks to Mjolnir and everything else. And so that's why they can go toe-to-toe against Thor. Because they have the Asgardian strength.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, okay. Makes sense. He would have, go back to that. Obviously, someone throwing around a wrecking ball and whatever is like, okay, clearly they're powered. But it's like, like at first when it's like someone comes up with a crowbar and starts beating Thor up with just a regular crowbar, it's like, okay, seriously, we're going this route where it's like one of the most powerful Avengers is going to be just getting beat up by regular people with with a tool.
Well. That's why I'm mentioning it to you, because they are not regular humans.
Yeah,
they are. Technically, they're still considered human, but I think I don't know if they're considered Asgardian, like physiology or not, or if it's just enhanced in general. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just don't remember how they classify it.
Let me see if I'm going to try to pull it up again and see if it.
Because they should come up humans, and then they're enhanced because of their weaponry, which should technically come from the Asgardian power. I'm trying to think of anybody else. No, there's just so many good villains that we got to see too. Baron Zemo, the real Baron Zemo.
Okay, well, right now it says that from what so the Wrecker had formerly been a violent criminal who demolished crime scenes with his crowbar, but gained his powers when he was mistaken for Loki and given mystical powers by Carnelia, the Norn queen.
All right, so it was still through Asgard.
Yeah, no. I'm saying but it's so he was human, but he was given Asgardian powers, so he's still human, just with godlike powers. Yeah.
So he's kind of like Jane Foster in that way.
Yeah.
Okay. Mentally is how I would describe it.
No. I mean, I think that's a fair comparison. It's the best way to.
But overall, like I said, very good episodes. I love the interaction with all the characters, the dysfunctionalness of it all. I also like that the interactions between Wasp and Ant-Man are the same as Mr. Fantastic and Invisible Woman.
Oh yeah, for the most part, yeah.
I'm curious to see what other heroes and villains we'll get to see in the rest of this, because there's got to be some more team-ups that I'm going to be excited for. We'll have to wait and see. And mutants have been mentioned thanks to Whirlwind, But other than that, I think Whirlwind is the only mutant that we've seen.
Yeah. Besides Wolverine.
Well, yes, but I think he's not classified as a mutant at that point because I don't think they knew that.
I mean, yes,
so,
but I'm
no,
saying
I
like
get your point. Yes, we know that. Yes, you're correct.
I'm curious when we'll be seeing Kang again.
I have a feeling that it's gonna be. I'm thinking it's either gonna be towards the end of this season or the beginning of next season.
I was just very interested. It was very curious because, like you said, you had said that Kang was the big villain, and they mentioned him really early, and that like,
and then all of a sudden he just disappeared, and now we're creating this Masters of Evil, which makes me think that he is going to beat up the Masters of Evil because I feel like they're going to be the reason for him to not be in power in the future, and then he then goes after the Avengers because they're trying to stop him.
Well, I mean, obviously, according to the episode, it was like his issue is Captain America. So his target is always going to be Captain America.
Yeah, because it's a man who's outside of time, just like him.
Yeah.
Also, do you know the wife that he had, right? Do you know who she's supposed to be in the MCU?
No.
So she is the judge from Loki.
Oh, okay.
Just for a fun fact for the kids.
Obviously, like you had mentioned, I remember you mentioning that about how she fell in love with him and whatever. I don't think you ever mentioned that she was his wife, but
I think there's been many iterations of them where they're married, they're not, they hate each other, they love each other, they kill each other. It's a wide range of emotions.
Classic married couple.
Actually, yes. Actually, yes. But the difference is they act upon it. I'll say it that way.
It depends on the married couple.
I mean, I guess that's true also. But no, so it was really cool seeing his flagship and everything else because they make him look like basically like the Thanos of the MCU, which is incredible so far. I very much like it.
Technically, this came before Thanos.
No, I know.
So they made Thanos look like him.
Well, actually, weirdly enough, Thanos has always had a ship too. So like they both have had like mega ships.
No, I know, but
so it's like
the comparison you were going
I get your
with,
point.
Yeah. Obviously, Thanos always had a fleet and whatever in the comics. I don't know the extent of it, but and obviously same thing with Kang. I don't know who came first, to be honest.
I think Kang is well. This is gonna get really weird because I think there was.
I swear, if you say something along the lines of technically Kang is first because Kang is forever.
No, that's not what I was gonna say. I was gonna say comic book wise. Comic book wise, I think it's actually a variant of Kang, which I think was King Ramata. I think was the first one to be seen. But don't quote me on that.
I am curious.
I'm not gonna lie to you. So I don't know if Thanos is before or after, but I don't think Kang was even the first Kang. As weird as that sounds. That's my big thing.
First appearance was in October of 1963 as Franklin Richards. Or it just says his first appearance. It was in the Fantastic Four comics of October of 1963. And then it also says his first appearance as Kang was in an Avengers comic in 1964.
I'm sorry. Say the first one again. I got the second one.
So the first one, it just says his first appearance was in a Fantastic Four comic in 1963. Yep. And then it also says his first appearance as Kang was in 1964.
So, ready for this?
Mm-hmm.
You're correct. 1963 was when he was Nathaniel Richards. Okay. In 1960... In 1963, he was also as Rama-Tut, and then reinvented himself as Kang in 1964.
Okay. And
And by the way, ready for this? Ready for this? No, there's one more thing. And over the Marvel comic titles over the years, he has portrayed himself as Ramatat, Immortus, Scarlet Centurion, Victor Timely, Iron Lad, and Mr. Jifen.
So 6 variants.
7 if you count Kang.
Okay.
Just to have a fun fact for you.
Okay, so like 6 variants of Kang. So like.
Yes. Yes.
And just so you know, Thanos was first introduced in Marvel Comics in February of 1973. So a whole 10 years later.
First.
Yep.
Kang was first.
Very
as he always was.
And he was actually first introduced in an Iron Man comic.
Thanos?
Yeah.
Makes sense. But yeah, overall, thought this was, like I said, really good series. I'm excited to see the rest of it, to be honest with you. So next week we're going to be talking about we forgot to talk about the Gamma world, in the sense of like watching the characters turn into Gamma monsters. Wasp turning into a wasp, Panther turning into a panther. The only thing I have to say is I'm surprised Captain America wasn't stronger because he had the super soldier serum in him.
I think it was like everything just they were kind of, because unless they had the enhancement, everyone was just like a
monster.
Because just meant to be like a mutated form of themselves, not someone that's super enhanced. Because because the leader wanted to be able to control them, and if they were all so powerful, there's a chance that they could turn on him and he couldn't beat them.
Correct. Kind of. I also like that Iron Man was literally like his technology mutated.
Yeah, that was wild. Seeing that, like his heart morphing into his reactor.
Mm-hmm.
That was.
And
I liked how in that situation, Hank Pym was like actually nowhere to be seen. I didn't realize that he actually wasn't with the group until they showed him in a lab with other people. I was like, this guy's never with the team.
They actually mentioned that when they get to the cube the first time.
Oh, did they? Oh, I missed it.
Yeah, they're like, where's Hank? Oh, he didn't want to leave the lab over in Wakanda because he wanted to study vibranium. Oh, who wants to do that? Also, do you know who Dr. Samson is? He's in the MCU, technically.
The name sounds familiar.
So he was in the Incredible Hulk movie.
Okay.
He played Betty Ross's new boyfriend.
Okay, I don't remember that.
The guy who played him in the movie was the dad from Modern Family.
Yeah, no. I don't remember it.
So he never becomes obviously the mutated version. You know what I'm saying? But he was the doctor and everything else. And he was Dr. Samson, which I thought was a nice little nod to the community.
I mean, I want to see if I can find it. Yeah, no, I don't remember seeing him in the movie. I'm like seeing the scenes, but I don't remember it.
Yeah, he well, especially when everything started to come together and we got Abomination back and we got the leader back. People were wondering if we were going to get Samson, but it doesn't look like we're going to. Which, to be honest with you, isn't the end of the world.
Yeah, no.
But I do like how they gave him What's weird is his mutation is superhuman strength and everything else, but the only thing that really changed about him is his hair color.
Yeah, noticeable change. Yeah, and his eyes, at least in the show.
I think in the comics, I think his eyes might have changed color too. But like weirdly enough, people do have green eyes, so it's not like a completely freakish thing. The hair is the big one.
Yeah.
But no,
I like that they made a comment on it in the show where they see him and they're like, "Why does he have green hair?" It's like, because that's the focus.
Well, because and not his bulging muscles this time around.
Yeah.
But I guess they never saw what he looked like before. I don't think.
No, but I mean, like in a world where there's superpower beings, it's like the green hair is.
Why do you have green hair, sir? Yeah, I'm very curious to see where the rest of this series goes. I mean, we're going to be building up villains for everyone else, so I'm curious at because they each are going to have a villain to face off as the Masters of Evil. So, like Thor will be facing the Executioner / Enchantress.
Mm-hmm.
And then Iron Man's going to be facing Crimson Domino. We have Captain America facing Baron Zemo. And then we have Hulk facing Abomination. But I don't know who's going to be facing Hawkeye because they haven't finished the team yet.
Yeah.
Black Panther. I would imagine it's Manape, I would assume. But at the same time, it could be somebody else.
Yeah. I mean, still got a lot more episodes to go, so...
So, my question for you is, do you now know that the leader was the guy from Captain America 4 now?
Yeah. Now that you mention it, now I remember. But when I first saw it, because...
You thought it was the other guy, which I get.
And the way that they portrayed it, where it's like, I know everything, and, I've already seen all the outcomes, so it's like, okay, this is clearly the same guy. And that's why I was like, oh, it's interesting. They changed his name, and then... I also didn't realize that there was a thinker in Marvel as well as DC.
So, I am under the impression he's the Tinkerer. And he is known more for boosting up tech villains' tech.
Okay, makes sense.
That's my assumption. Unless there's another character that is actually called the Thinker, I don't think they would do that because they have somebody in the DC of that name. So I don't think they would actually call him that. But I could be wrong.
Okay, so I just looked it up. I looked up the Thinker in Marvel Comics, and it says his name is not the Thinker, but the Mad Thinker. And it says that
makes more sense.
The Mad Thinker is a supervillain that is obsessed with probability and predicting outcomes.
Yep. Yeah, so
he uses androids to carry out his plans.
Because the Tinkerer is the guy who was in Ultimate Alliance 2, who boosted up villains' tech. So, like, a lot of the people he boosted up were Spider-Man villains, because Spider-Man's villains were more of the tech villains.
Okay.
But anyway, anything else you want to add about this show, or do you want to move on to my character spotlight?
The only thing I want to say is there's a chance that the Mad Thinker is going to be a part of the Masters of Evil of this group, because when I'm looking up more detail, it's like his team affiliations is the Magia, Triumvirate of Terror, Intelligentsia, the Illuminati, and the Masters of Evil. He's worked with Puppet Master, Egghead, Claw, Wizard, and Awesome Android. It's interesting because, like, if you look up the character, one of the pictures that they show him with is him working with the leader, but it doesn't say, at least in the brief overview, doesn't show anything about his affiliation with the Thinker or the leader.
No, I don't.
Interesting.
But he works with so many people.
Yeah. All right. Let's move on to your character spotlight.
So my character spotlight is Doorman Davis. For those of you who don't know, he is the most incredible actor of this century. He is actually part of the Great Lakes Avengers. So before joining the Great Lake Avengers, Damar Davis was an average American youngster. Sometime during his years in college, his mother died. After completing 4 years of college and 3 years of graduate school, Damar decided to answer Mr. Immortal's newspaper ad asking for costume adventurers to join together and form a team. As a mutant, Damar possesses a unique teleportation ability which allows his teammates an opening into almost any structure, thereby facilitating stealthy entrances and surprise attacks. He joined the original incarnation of the Great Lake Avengers. Doorman was responsible for creating the fallen Great Lake Avengers Memorial at GLA headquarters, which is the Great Lake Avengers headquarters, still blaming himself for the death of one of their newest recruits, the Grasshopper, who died in battle after Doorman activated his powers and let a psi pass through him only to hit Grasshopper. Afterwards, he also tried to scare off another potential member, Squirrel Girl, because he feared that she would too die while in service to the Great Lake Avengers. Ironically, Doorman was the one to die, sacrificing himself so Mr. Immortal could stop the villain Maelstrom. He met with the other dead Great Lake Avengers in the afterlife, including Grasshopper, who forgave him. Doorman, however, was intrigued by the absence of Hawkeye. Shortly afterwards, he was summoned by the cosmic entity Oblivion, who declared thanks to Doorman's connection to the Dark Force dimension, Doorman could prove useful to him, akin the Death Urge, who had recently been captured by Mr. Immortal. Doorman therefore replaced Death Urge and became Oblivion's new Angel of Death. Doorman continued to be a member of the Great Lake Avengers, though. However, a subpoena from the real Avengers forced the team to change their names to the Great Lake Avengers, Great Lake X-Men, or GLX. Which I find interesting. Sometime after the battle with Maelstrom, Doorman was celebrating Christmas with the rest of the GLX when he informed the team that he had to go and visit his father. Upon reaching his father's home, his father quickly complained that Damar was throwing his life away and needed to join the real world. He told his son that he had stupid powers, and all the other heroes had better powers than him. Realizing his own happiness was more important than his father's respect, Damar finally admitted the truth to his father, that he had died and come back as an angel of death, and he had not come back to visit his father, but rather collect his soul, as he had fallen off the roof while setting up his Christmas lights and died.
That's sad. That sounds like that sounds like right out of the book of what was the Christmas movie? What's it called? Is it the Santa Claus with
yes.
Tim Allen?
Well, yeah. So what's funny is, he had to go collect his dad's soul because his dad died, which I find to be hilarious. Ironically, the revelation of Doorman's new role in the universe greatly pleased his father, who couldn't wait to brag to all his friends in heaven about how his son was the new Angel of Death. Upon returning to the team, Doorman kept his secret hidden from his friends, not wishing to ruin the happy holidays that they were having. Yeah, he didn't want to talk about how he had to bring his dad to death. Doorman and his teammates participated in a charity superhero poker tournament hosted by The Thing, where Flatman beat their host in the final round, and Flatman's status as champion inspired the team to take on the new name of the Great Lake Champions after discouraged from the affiliation with both the X-Men and the Defenders by members of their teams presented at the tournament, ignoring the former champions of Los Angeles member Hercules' protests. So Hercules was the only one not happy with that newest name. All of the Great Lake champions registered with the United States government as required by the Superhuman Registration Act, becoming the official government-sanctioned protectors of Wisconsin, the Great Lakes Initiative. However, the GLI team was attacked by Deadpool in a misbegotten plan to win the government favor by bringing in unregistered rogue superheroes. The GLA in Detroit. Sometime later, when Flatman got the Avengers legal representation, Connie Friera, to reinstate the Great Lake Avengers as a permanent and official addition to the Avengers, Doorman was the only former member of the team, together with Big Bertha, who answered his call to bring the team together. Unknown to them, Craig's phone was now in possession of a local girl named Pansy. Pansy, Pansy. Pansy. That's a weird name. Unwilling to assume things, Pansy showed up at the point and at an abandoned Stark embassy and manufacturing plant that the Avengers had set up as the Great Lake Avengers' new headquarters in Detroit, Michigan. And waiting for the Great Lake Avengers, once they arrived, Pansy cleared up the confusion caused by her presence and showed the team around the facilities. The team's problem began when they had the tremendous idea of going to a local bar in the middle of the night and try to convince them to turn the music down. The owner, named Rogue, secretly Councilman Dick Stern, instead refused and began to insult them. Upon getting arrested after a fight, Doorman escaped and found Mr. Immortal inside a coffin used for voluntary solitary confinement for himself, to meditate. He fought back to the surface. He brought him back to the surface, convincing him to help the others. Soon after the return to the team, Doorman was pulled into the Dark Force dimension, where Oblivion angrily demanded an explanation for his absence. Doorman was forced to continue fulfilling his job as Oblivion's servant, but returned to the Great Lake Avengers in order to assist them in defeating the supervillain Dr. Nod. He played a key role in Nod's defeat, and he teleported Mr. Immortal inside Nod's body and had him punch his heart, causing him to collapse. Typical superhero stuff. Typical comic book stuff. Even though the city applauded the heroes, the Great Lake Avengers' rejoicing was abruptly cut short when Deadpool appeared on their doorstep and, as a member of the Avengers Unity Division, told them that they were fired, informing them that their legal claim of the name didn't hold up in court. He stated that people simply didn't like them, but comforted them, proclaiming that in a few years they could be in the spotlight once again. When the former GLA member Squirrel Girl allegedly died in the line of duty, Doorman was the actual Doorman during the funeral ceremony. Due to the non-existence of a guest list, he just let everybody who showed up get inside. That's such a weird statement to put in there, but okay.
Hey.
I know, right? So, the Doorman is a mutant born with several innate abilities, including Dark Force teleportation. Doorman is a Class 10 teleporter because, let's be honest, we all know all the different 10 types of teleporters. His body is a portal to the Dark Force dimension that allows people and objects to travel through him. If he positions himself in front of an obstacle, his body will create an outline of itself on the other side of the obstacle that allows people to travel through him. He's intangible, making him completely intangible, allowing people or items to enter the Dark Force dimension against his will. Additionally, he can phase through solid objects. He also is considered to be weightless. When he's using his phasing ability, he just becomes weightless and can actually float on air.
Interesting.
Upon his death, Oblivion resurrected the Doorman to serve as his angel of death, and because of this, his connection to the Dark Force dimension granted him new powers, including Death Sense. So Doorman has the enhanced cosmic knowledge of allowing him to see beyond the veil of life and death, where he can also see other beings traveling on ethereal planes as well. He has the Dark Force manipulation. In addition to his teleportation, he can now create solid objects from Dark Force, such as ski poles and skis. Interesting that they went that route, but okay. He has the capability of flight at light speed. He cannot be physically harmed anymore, and he's considered to be self-sufficient. He can survive in the vacuum of space and does not need to breathe anymore. Interesting enough, he now, thanks to, I'm assuming because he's now the Angel of Death, he now can change into his costume instantly. And you ready for his abilities?
Sure.
He's a hand-to-hand combat, so he has some training in hand-to-hand combat, and he's an experienced card player.
The important things.
So he is part of the power grid, and as always, it's out of 7. However, he's got 2 different types of numbers here. So before his resurrection, before his resurrection, and then post-resurrection. So before his resurrection, he was a 2 in intelligence because it was normal, a 2 in strength because it was normal. His speed was a 2 or a 7 because of his teleportation. Because the idea is with teleportation, you could be anywhere in a split second.
Yeah.
But without teleportation, it's a 2. His durability is a 2. His energy projection is a 3, and his fighting skills are a 3. Now, after his resurrection, you ready for this? There are only 2 things that got boosted, and they got boosted all the way to 7s.
I'm gonna guess intelligence for 1.
Okay. What'd be the other one?
Can you go through the list again?
Intelligence, strength, speed, durability, energy projection, and fighting skills.
Energy projection.
See, I would have thought the same thing, but you're wrong. It was intelligence and durability because now he becomes intangible.
That was my next guess. It was either
no.
It was either durability or energy projection.
Well, weirdly enough, this is going to sound very weird to say, but his energy projection didn't change that drastically because it's still the same type. So it's the one type of, even though it's increased, it's still the one type of energy projection, which is such a weird thing to think about because you would think because it got stronger, it would boost up. But the way they do energy projection in the sense of the power grid, it's like how much of it.
Yeah. The more you know.
Like most people, even the most powerful ones are like a 3 or a 4, unless they have multiple types, and then they go higher.
Yeah.
But no, I thought that was interesting because I did not think of him as somebody who becomes the angel of death ever.
Yeah.
I also like
once he ate what's his name? Once he lost Joe, it all went downhill. He changed his persona and everything.
Josh.
Oh, sorry.
It's Josh Gad. Is who he.
I don't.
So I also like too. Is
I got the J right. All right.
He. You could have said Olaf, and everyone would have been fine with it. I also like how he accidentally got one of his Avengers killed because his portal was open and a weapon went through him and killed a friend.
Oh, that's sad.
But anyway, that is my character spotlight. So for next week, we're going to be talking about the second half of season 1, any trailers that come out, and a character spotlight from Mike. So for now, if you made it this far into the video, please make sure to like and subscribe down below. Other than that, this is going to be Scott and Mike signing out of the Black Eel Podcast. Have a wonderful night. Bye-bye.